Questions are kind of like a roadmap. They can lead us to discover a stunning new vista, or if we're not clear on the destination, they can take us down a dark road of disrepair. Knowing what questions to ask can determine where you end up in your mind and your relationships. Hello, and welcome to the Connect podcast. This show is all about helping you connect to your soul's calling so you can take action on it. Because the sweetest success is a blend of discovering your purpose with the inner drive to bring it to life. I'm Sheila, health coach, lifestyle entrepreneur, and mom of two, best known for my online wellness programs, mentoring, and self-love passion. Listen in for inspiring interviews, solo chats, and Q&A sessions that will move you past overwhelm towards what lights you up. Stop accepting good enough and go for your version of great in your health, business, and relationships. Let's get started. Hi, welcome to this Monday minisode where I share an insight designed to help you live into what lights you up this week. And today we're talking about questions. This is something I love. I love asking questions. My kids will tell you I ask too many questions, and it's just been in my nature for so long. I love to learn. So I've learned to temper the number of questions that I ask my kids throughout the day. And it's caused me to get really good about what the outcome of my asking is. Paying attention to the questions that I ask really has been an educational experience because sometimes those questions are to get to a deeper level of understanding about something. Sometimes they are to make plans to make sure that everyone's needs are being met. Sometimes it is only for connection, asking questions to get a little deeper. Not everyone just will open up in conversation. So questions are a nice way to open people up, to create more connection. You may have heard it said, seek first to understand, then to be understood. And Stephen Covey likes to say that saying quite a bit as well. He's the author of The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People from many years ago. I found it so true. People simply are not heard very often. They don't feel seen. They don't feel listened to. So when you're genuinely asking a question to someone and wanting to hear what the response is, it elevates their state and it helps them to actually feel maybe a little more valued. You never know what people are going through. I've had experiences where I've asked someone how they're doing when I've been out in public, just out doing things, and I've stopped to listen. And it's incredible, the things that people have shared with me. My kids have witnessed it, and they're always, it's always fascinating just to see the responses and then our conversations as we leave that interaction afterwards, for them to see all the different variety of things that happen around us that we don't even know because we're not asking. We're not seeking to understand. It's so often that we are so busy in our lives. And this is true for myself too. I want to just highlight that. It's easy for us not to look outside of ourselves. We get caught up in the stacks of paper, the stacks of bills, the stacks of plans, and the overwhelm that can exist in our lives. And we don't ever really ask what's going on for someone else. There's something also that happens when you're asking. It may be a release for them, but it also, that point of connection for you, it's like a sense of contribution in some way. It's a little free moment where you are somehow being of service by letting your ears hear what needs to be said. I recently heard an author share a great idea to help you ask deeper questions. It's an acronym, TED. And the person who shared this was an author called Evie Poumpouras. I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly. So the T in TED stands for tell me, the E stands for explain, and the D stands for describe. And so the way you would use this, she was saying, was first you want to say, so tell me why you chose to live in this area. Tell me why you decided to have dinner at this restaurant. Tell me why you work in this field. Explain to me what prompted your move. Explain to me why you're looking at new cars today. And then describe. So describe your favorite memory from high school. Describe the meal that you loved the most growing up. Describe your favorite vacation. Wow, right? So simple. TED, TED. Those are such great ways to get more depth in a conversation, but also to understand someone's values, where they're coming from, a little bit of their history, of what's meaningful to them. And it can really deepen relationships in your midst as well. Now, those are the questions that we ask other people. What about the questions we ask ourselves? The questions we're asking ourselves can sometimes be disempowering. They take us back in time. They take us back to things that we can't change. And so I want to back up a little bit and say what got me started thinking about questions was I was on a walk, super high vibe the other day. The sun was shining, birds were singing. I finally didn't need to wear a jacket. It was awesome. And bumped into someone walking their dog and asked, "How are you doing?" And they told me, and they were not doing well, and they shared with me everything that was not going well. There was not one thing that they shared that was good. And I think that's what happens when we are not feeling good. We don't see the good around us. And so we need to have compassion on ourselves for that and for other people. And I invite us all, myself included, into starting to ask ourselves different questions, because then we can also ask each other these different questions. So some questions I've been trying out for myself and then also around my home is questions like, how do you want to feel? What are you looking forward to today? What are you excited about? How would you love to grow today? And what's something you're curious about? And once you start looking through that list of questions, there's so many more that come. You can keep asking, and you could ask this and that. And those questions are questions that get you thinking about possibility. And if you're not in a happy place, if you're dealing with a lot on your plate, asking a question like, what's something you're curious about can break that pattern, because even if we're not happy about something, we can still be curious. And then when you get curious, you start to hear other people's stories and you start to see different ways and maybe even go into a different way of thinking. And like, what are you looking forward to today? It might be something really simple, like going to bed. It's morning, but you can't wait to just go back to bed. Like for people who are really not doing well, that's how it can feel. But the question, how do you want to feel? Well, we definitely can. We all have pictures of how we would prefer things to be. And when we focus our attention on that, it can help us feel a little better. So we need to think about the questions we're asking ourselves and be mindful, because when we do that, it can lighten everything and we can start finding solutions to problems we may think that there are no solutions for. And it may open us up to also starting to ask others some of these questions and creating deeper connection. As you go about your week, ask yourself some good questions. I would love to hear what you're asking yourself these days, and also what's coming up for you in terms of the answers. Being in the inquiry is a beautiful place to be in life, because we are always growing and shifting and changing, and we need to have grace on ourselves through that process. So asking questions is a great place to begin. The best way to contact me these days is to text me. So I invite you to text the word CONNECT to 647-424-3274 so you can get weekday self-care mantras that keep your well-being rituals top of mind. They're really short. They're just a few days a week, and it's a free gift that I put together to share with you to elevate your day. And I'm loving the responses I'm getting back, and I'm also loving how it makes me feel when I see myself sending it out. So text the word CONNECT to 647-424-3274, and you can let me know what resonates for you from this and other episodes. Thanks for listening. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your week, and I will see you on the next episode. Big blessings. Thank you so much for being here with me on the Connect podcast. If you like this episode, please share it with someone you think would enjoy it. Also, if you head over to iTunes to leave a review, I'd be so grateful. Let us know what your favorite parts were and what you'd like to hear more of. It will help us have a greater impact, elevating many more people to grow and succeed together. See you next time.